All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's Node API meeting for Friday, February 24th, 2023. Before we get started with our normal agenda, does anybody have any announcements they would like to share? Nope. All right. So then let me share my screen and we will go through our normal agenda of the milestones, issues, and pull requests. All right. So first issue in the milestones is drive towards full coverage. And pulls. Jack, do you have anything that you would like to explicitly bring up?
Nothing particular, but I think started addressing some of the comments left from one of my PRs, but it looks like the tests are failing or canceled. I'm not sure.
All right. Let's just take a quick peek if we can see. It might be, wasn't there some issue of a hanging async progress worker test?
Yeah, I've opened a tracking issue for B16 failure on x86. I assume the issue we can suppress the failure right now since we know the set failure is introduced newly.
Okay.
And I will review these several PRs if it's ready for another round of review. And the tracking issue number, the tracking issue link I posted in the chat.
Okay. All right. I think I found the test does not work. Anyone have any of this saying? Okay, this one and this one. So line 185. So do signal after progress. Okay. Okay, so we can take a look at that to see if there's any findings or whatnot. Hopefully we can get that resolved and fixed and merged into main. Then with a rebase, hopefully all of these other ones will then start running correctly.
All right, thank you.
Anything else regarding testing?
I think that's it for this week.
Okay, so then I guess we just have to do some reviews on these PRs. So hopefully we'll get around to doing that within the next week or so.
Awesome.
All right. Then moving on, add list of non-C language bindings to the doc. We have the one already in our ABI stable node repo, and we just now need to create a PR on core for this. And it looks like Nick has not made any progress on that. So we will just move on. Then enable debug testing for add-ons. This is something that was assigned to Michael. I don't think there's been any work on this either. So we will move on. Then we'll come back to the still issues. The memory leaks one, I think I signed up to do this. Yes, I have no progress on this as of yet. Hopefully I'll get some time this weekend or the beginning of next week. All right. let's talk about this get context for each of the runtimes, because I believe, yes, it's linked here. So we have this request here. Is there anything that you think needs to be done on our side, or are we just waiting for this to sort of become approved and then created?
We are going to wait for 1 week. After that, if no one is opposing, then we'll go ahead with this approach.
Okay, sounds good. Then when this is created, is this the group that will seek feedback from regarding the runtime schematics?
Yes, and for our future new Node APIs.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, then let's move on to stale issues. We have this one for Nick to take a look. Let's see if there's been any. Looks like there's been no progress from Nick. So we'll just continue waiting for that one. Let's see. This one. Okay, this one. So the original poster, so another bit of backstory. This is the issue where a user was complaining that creating a lot of async workers was causing crashes. Then I ran their add-on with Valgrind and saw some invalid memory use. Then they made a fix in order to test the changes. The fix, let's see, is on my private node. It's on my fork. Let's see here. Fix blob memory allocation. Shows a consistent error I get where the function reference is not maintained by an API. At least that's what I saw in GDB. I also get an error on thread safe creation too sometimes. I'll just have to continue taking a look at this, and hopefully I'll have some findings. And if not, I'll just reach out to the team to get some suggestions. Let me just quickly open this up. Yeah, okay. So there's this run, and then the one on fix this one is on, because it does not crash when running inside Valgrind, but it does give a bunch of warnings, like this sort of mismatched free and whatnot. That's a new one I haven't seen, but yeah, I'll go through this and see if I get any concrete findings or whatnot. Then moving on, this one, the object wrapped cleanup. This is blocked on the runtime semantics. So we'll move on to the next one. And this one is also blocked on the runtime semantics. This is the async callbacks with failures. Then this one here, thread safe release crashes. And this was due to object cleanup order. And we have this PR that has been going through some reviews. And James did approve of it. Chenzong, was there also I remember seeing a pull request for validating the order?
Yeah, the link is in the, let me, wait a minute.
Verify cleanup hooks order. Yes, this one.
Yeah, this one.
Okay, and
the problem is that I found a unexpected failure on CI infrastructure only on one Alpine yeah,
okay.
Alpine latest. So I'm not I currently not sure how this is why the test is failing, but yeah, I probably need to set up locally and to set up an Alpine to verify why the test is failing.
I see. It's getting a crash. Assertion failed. Cleanup hook equals 6. Okay. Yeah, this Alpine, I think, is one of the Docker images, so it should be able to easily reproduce locally.
Yeah, hopefully, so that we can proceed with this PR.
Okay.
And then we can land the documentation changes things that once we have the verification landed, then the documentation can be safely asserted that the order is guaranteed.
That makes sense. Okay. I'll just add that in this comment here. A backing PR in core to verify the order as described in 45903. Oh, I guess I can't link to it that way. I can link to it this way. And this one. Okay. Once the test PR has been merged, we can merge the documentation PR. All right. We discussed this issue in the 24th Node-API Team meeting. All right. Anything else on this issue?
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you.
All right. Then I think this is the final one. This one is waiting on Vladimir to create the Node add-on API specific example for this other example that he created in Man. Okay, then I think that is it for stale issues. Then moving on, then it is just looking at issues and pull requests. Does anyone have any specific issues or PRs they would like to bring up? All right, then let us take a look at what is new. We discussed this one already. That's the async progress worker failure. This one, Michael has commented. So in this scenario, somebody is using thread safe functions with Electron, and it appears that even after the thread safe function is finalized, so there's no open handle, it seems that the process is still being kept alive. And Michael asks if they can run the add-on without Electron to verify the behavior. Because the poster also said that he tried to use unref, which means that even if the handle is open, it will not, the node process will continue with shutting down, as in it doesn't matter that the thread safe function has not been released or finalized yet. The process has no other open hooks or handles, so it should be able to close. So even using unref, their process is still being kept open. So I think it is a good plan of action to see if they can, remove Electron from the equation and see if that solves the problem just by running it, this small portion of their add-on code directly in Node. And we're waiting to hear back about that. And going back. We have some other issues here using a Webpack native add-on. Figure build. Okay, starting the React app. This doesn't necessarily look like a Node add-on API issue. Yeah, this just seems like a generic React setup issue. But we can take a look at that sort of offline. The only thing I would like to point out is yeah, we can take a look at this one offline. Then let's continue onward. Why order of JS? Okay, yep, I saw this question here. And I was a little confused as to why this would happen. This person is saying that they're creating two thread safe functions, A and B. And when he calls thread safe function A, blocking call first, and then B, blocking call afterwards, he would assume that A's call would happen before B. But he's noticing that sometimes B is called first. So then the question that I have is like, is there any order guarantee between calling the thread safe functions themselves?
The thread safe function is based on the UV async. I'm not sure two UV async writes can provides order guarantees. Probably I need to visit if this is the order is guaranteed in libuv.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would say the suggestion is that anyway, probably I will need to get verify if UV is providing any guarantee on the order between two UV async.
Okay, that makes sense. Thread safe functions are backed by UV async. UV async and if there are any ordering guarantees provided by libuv when Sync method consecutively.
I'm not sure if there is anyone would like to investigate this in the room. If not, I can take it.
Okay. Let's see. I have the memory leak, the seg fault, and I should be able to look at this then. Right. Because I think it's just looking at the documentation for libuv, right? To see if they say anything regarding that.
Yeah, that's one approach.
Okay. Guarantee ordering guarantees provided by the library. Back to you. Thanks. All right. Is this the right symbol, UV async, or is it UV async work or what?
It's UV async
Okay.
async underscore T, and it's relative API, like say UV async send and UV async init.
Okay. I'll just put star. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, and I'll go ahead and comment on that one. Then let's see how to return values from add-on to JavaScript via function arguments. After going through node adding, I still don't know how to return values via function arguments. For example, I want to invoke functions from a shared library in add-on. Some functions are like this. How can I use the add function in add-on and return value function in JavaScript? Result, add-on, result. Okay, this value needs to be turned via function argument, but I do not care to structure and specific value since I shared library itself. How can I implement a general idea? Create channel ID. Okay, this sounds pretty simple. Basically, when they create the Node API function that calls create channel internally, they would have to provide sort of this channel ID as a variable inside the function so that they can pass it to this function call and then use something like, if this is a number, then just return that number. If it's an object, because we don't have JavaScript doesn't have the ability to change primitives by reference like that. But if they pass it an object, then they'd be able to modify the properties of that object. So if it was something like this, that channel ID and that value, which are objects here, then this create channel method function would be able to modify this object by adding a property or whatnot, channel ID. This makes sense. I think it may take a little bit more time to provide an example. So I will do this one after this call. But the actual issue sounds relatively simple. All right, then I think that is it. Does anyone else have any issues on Node add-on API they'd like to look at?
No. And I will need to jump right now. So sorry for the early leave.
Yeah.
See you next time.
No problem. All right. See you next week.
Thank you.
Then let's quickly go through the issues in core. See if we have anything new. There's nothing new here. Let's see if there's just been any additional comments on, because I think this one was trying to provide a new API 3 weeks ago. No, nothing new here. Then let's see if there's any pull requests, label, API. We talked about this one already. There's this documentation update. Last week did some digging. I mean, I think it was okay. I mean, there's just some comments back and forth on this one. That's just a documentation update. And then there's this one that Vladimir has been working on. This has been approved, but there's still some additional comments going on. Let's see if there's been anything new 3 weeks ago. No, so nothing new here since the last meeting. Okay, well, I don't think there's anything else then to discuss. Jack, do you have anything you'd like to bring up?
I think I'm good for now. Yeah.
All right, well then I guess we'll just go ahead and close this meeting a little early, and everybody, which I guess is just you, will get 28 minutes back of their day.
Thanks. All right. Talk to you later.
Yep, see ya. Everyone, have a good day. Bye-bye.